Hey, so I wanted to record this and kind of walk you through exactly like I would if you were on here with me. So normally this is what I would do. I would jump on one of these Zoom calls and be able to share my screen with you and be able to kind of ask you what type of food you like and things like that to fill in the meal plan. But so I'm going to do that the best I can without you actually on here. And so I am also going to treat you like you don't know about any of this. So I don't know how familiar you are with the actual meal plan and with the containers. So if I go over things you already know, I apologize. But let's get started. So first of all, these are the containers, which I'm sure you've seen before. And most of my girls, if they've never used these, they get these in the mail and they're like, holy moly, Kristen, I'm going to starve. And so I tell them to please give it a chance, first of all, and don't let it overwhelm you because these containers are literally measuring cups. It's the only thing I want you to think of them as. They are going to show you the correct portion of the amount of each food group you need. So if you're anything like me, I ate really healthy prior to starting the containers. I thought I did, and I did. I ate like healthy foods, but I was not eating the right amount of the healthy foods. I was eating way too many carbs and not enough veggies. And so these programs are really designed to show you the amount of each food group to get your body the best results, to help you lose weight, to help you hit your goals. So it's super important to follow this. So I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to share my screen with you and just kind of go over some stuff in BOD. And then I will walk you through the actual meal plan. So I'm going to do your meal plan for Shift Shop since that's what you're going to start next week. And so when you log onto your BOD, you go into Shift Shop, you go to Program Materials, and when you go down to Nutrition, the meal plan and everything is here. So when you open up the nutrition guide, and mine might be a little bit slow, the first thing you're going to see is the meal plans based on what plan you're in. So you're in Plan B. Week 1 is going to look like this, Week 2 and Week 3. So Shift Shop is a little different than other programs because this starts carb cycling, and so you're going to get less carbs and more like veggies and protein as you go. Most of our programs, like, it's the same all the way through. But I will do your Week 1 just to kind of walk you through it. So that's that, and then you will also see your food list. So your veggies, your green, your fruits, proteins, your carbs. And once again, with this program, your carbs are different, just the way Shift Shop is set up. If you are wanting to use like the regular portion fix carb choices, you totally can. But if you're wanting to follow Shift Shop 100%, this is like how you do it. In your blues and your oranges. So like I said, these are your containers. These are measuring cups. So it's going to show you how much ground turkey you should be eating and how much potato or peas or anything like that. So what I do after I figure out my equation and how many containers is either on a piece of paper, or I like doing it on my notes section in my phone, or on my computer. My phone and my computer sync so that literally it's on me at all times and I can look. I write out my containers per day across the top of the sheet. So I'll go 4 greens, 3 purples, 4 reds, 3 yellows, a blue, an orange, and 4 teaspoons. And if you're using like Energize, Hydrate, Recover, any of those, it also tells you like what you would get of those as well. So once I have that, I start filling things in. What I have found the easiest thing for me to do is start with like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then go back through and fill in snacks. And so there's multiple ways you can do this. You can eat the same thing for breakfast every day, eat the same thing for lunch, change up your dinners, eat the same thing for a week of all of those. What most of my girls like to do is keep like their breakfast and lunch the same, and then change up their dinners every day, but keep the containers the same so that it's easy to interchange things. So let me start going through this. So say you want to have your Shakeology first thing in the morning. I know you like to drink yours like with your coffee. We would put Shakeology right here, and that counts as one of your proteins. Now, this is a lot of food that you need to be getting in, so I would also recommend adding like spinach even, fruit, teaspoons of like almond butter or peanut butter in there, because you're going to find that most people, it's hard for them to get in this amount of food because in our society, we're used to hearing the word diet, and that means like eat less. But really, you need to be eating more of just the right foods to be fueling your body. So what I'm going to suggest is putting spinach, frozen fruit, and 2 teaspoons of peanut butter. Now, if you are like me, I will tell you, I was super nervous to try spinach in my Shakeology for the longest time. Actually, we started doing it with my husband because he is so picky with vegetables. It was the only way we could get all of his in. And I promise you, you cannot taste it in there at all. It is a great way to get your veggies in. So my Shakeology is a protein. My spinach is a veggie. The frozen fruit is a fruit. And then your 2 teaspoons. So once I have those down here, I will go up here and I will just cross them off. And I already crossed off the protein, for the Shakeology. So, and say when you get to work, you like to have something else, like maybe you have this on your way to work, and then when you get to work or a little bit later, you do something else. A great option to take with you into work would be like boiled eggs and toast with peanut butter. So boiled eggs would be a protein. You get 2 boiled eggs for a red. A slice of toast would be, just kidding, you can't do toast because of the yellows. Hold on. So let's just start with the eggs real quick here. So I would mark off that protein. And so just another reminder, when you go down here, things that don't fit in the containers will tell you what their equivalent is. So for example, a half of a banana is a purple. 2 boiled eggs or 2 eggs is equal to a red. So things like that are helpful to remember because not everything's going to fit into these containers, but they should give you the breakdown for those things. So let's move on to lunch. Say for lunch, you wanted to keep it pretty simple. One great tool that is on here as well that you can use is this recipe booklet where it has recipes literally broken down by each meal and for each week. So there's Shakeology recipes. There's literally everything on here. And maybe finding a lunch recipe on here that you like so you can do that for the entire week. And if you don't want to eat the same thing for the entire week, that's totally fine. You can very easily interchange things. But like this turkey chili is a great recipe for lunch. You could literally make 1 batch of that and just double the recipe, or like 1.5 the recipe, and have enough servings for the entire week. It would make you 6 servings. So for the sake of this, I am going to put this recipe down for your lunch. Turkey chili, which is a red, a green, a yellow, and a teaspoon. And it tells you literally, if you follow this recipe, it tells you all of the container counts and everything. And I'm going to put that this is in the recipe booklet if you want to go back and look at it. So I'm going to mark off a red, a green, a yellow, and a teaspoon and move on to your dinners. So most people like to have a carb, a veggie, and a protein for their dinners. I think that's a great idea. Even if you wanted to double your carb, you could do it easily with dinner. So like I said earlier, what I would recommend is either, coming up with your dinner recipes or keeping it super simple like that, where it's a protein, a carb, and a veggie, and you just know that you're going to go to that list and you're going to pick the things. So maybe Monday night you have chicken and a baked potato and green beans, and maybe Tuesday night you do taco bowls where you have like lettuce, beans, ground turkey, and things like that. You can use anything that's on the food containers list that falls into those categories. So for your dinners, I'm going to go ahead and put a Y, a G, and an R so that you know you're going to have a carb, a veggie, and a protein. And I'm going to mark those off. And like I said, I think you could even very easily do like 2 carbs for dinner. If you wanted to do burrito bowls, you could do a thing of beans or 2 different types of beans. You could do a whole baked potato or a whole sweet potato would be equal to 2 yellows as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that there, and you can always change it. Another thing to keep in mind, you can eat these containers at any point of the day as long as you get them all in for the day. It doesn't matter when you have them. So now that you have this, your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner, I'm gonna go back through and I'm gonna fill in snacks for you. So maybe with your boiled eggs in the morning, you wanna have a half of a banana, because a half of a banana is equal to a purple. So you mark that off. And then maybe in the afternoon, you wanna have cucumbers and hummus. So your cucumbers would be a veggie, a green, and your hummus would be a blue because it's a healthy fat. So you would mark those off. And maybe you want to add a fruit in there as well. Or actually, what we're going to do is a lot of people like to save the fruit for after dinner, because I don't know about you, after I eat something like savory for dinner, I get a sweet tooth and I want something sweet afterwards. So a lot of people will save a fruit for an after dinner snack, so that they're getting that sweetness, but it's not knocking them off track. And that would be a purple. So the only things you would have left are your orange and your teaspoon. And I'll go back to the meal plan. Oranges are a really weird container. And I will tell you right now, if you get everything else in and you do not get the orange in, it is not gonna make or break you. Because they're like seeds and dressings. So they can be kind of tough to like fit in. But this is the list of them. So say you wanted to add chia seed or flaxseed into your shake, you could do that. Maybe you wanted to have olives or something like that with your cucumbers and hummus, you could do that. If you get through the day and the only thing you have left is an orange, that is a win, and we will just take it as a win. You also have another teaspoon. So another thing you could do for a snack like this could be apples and a teaspoon of peanut butter for your midnight snack, your after dinner snack. And so if you did something like that, you would just add a teaspoon here. Okay, so that would be it. That's your meal plan. And like I said, anything that's on this list, so if I put something on here that you're not going to eat, that's totally fine. Just find something comparable, like find something from the list to switch it out. So say you don't want boiled eggs in the morning, you want yogurt, totally fine. It's a protein. It's interchangeable and you can still put fruit in it. Say you don't like cucumbers, but you like broccoli, you can put broccoli into there. It doesn't matter what is off of this list. As long as it's listed, you can have it and it just goes into those containers. And if you want to move one of these yellows somewhere else, that's totally fine. But once you look at this and you watch this video, if you have any questions, please just let me know and I would be more than happy to jump on a call with you if we can schedule time, or just answer your questions. So I hope that was helpful. Please let me know if anything is confusing.